It's always difficult trying to describe my music because my music comes completely from the subconscious. I write from the heart, and although everything tends to usually come from an improvisation, I then have to use my craft to enhance the idea itself. And I aspire to write beautiful music, music that is lyrical, music that is atmospheric, music that is filled with a lot of energy, and hopefully something that is optimistic and just leaves the audience in a good place. In recent years, I've been basing a lot of works on visual arts, and my first significant work for orchestra called Finding Rothko is based on 4 Mark Rothko paintings. And I'm now in the middle of writing a new work for the Kansas City Symphony that is essentially a 21st century pictures at an exhibition. And Kansas City has a fantastic museum called the Nelson Atkins Museum, and I'm setting 10 of their pieces. American Symphony came about in November of 2008 after the election of President Obama. And during this entire election process, it was by far the most significant election of my life and many people of my generation. And I think no matter which party you were voting for, everyone wanted change. And our country had been in significant turmoil economically, and if you looked at the past decade from September 11th of 2001, up through the past, just even today, there's just been some difficulty. And I wanted to try to bring more beauty into this world. The piece, although it's called American Symphony, and I am an American composer, I think the message goes beyond just America. It's a piece about hope, it's a piece about bringing people together, and a very optimistic piece. And my sound, I guess on one hand you could say it's American. I guess we've defined the American symphonic sound through Copland and even Ives, and both of those composers certainly used quartal and quintal harmonies, and it's something that I definitely use in my music. You'll hear a lot of open fifths and tenths and a lot of parallel motion, although I tend to think of it more as modal movement now than anything else. But I think the music can reach anyone. I don't think it matters where you're from. I think that's the power of music, the language that it speaks. It's something that we can't necessarily, we intellectually try to define what it is that we're hearing, but really we're feeling something and we're experiencing something. And I feel like the music that I write, and specifically in this piece, it does hit the soul a little more, and it's certainly the goal that I aimed for. Well, I did my training at Juilliard, my master's and my doctorate, and I was fortunate enough to study with both Robert Beezer and John Curigliano. And not only are they my friends today, but they are certainly my 2 greatest mentors. I've looked up to them as human beings and also just the music that they've written. My other great mentor happens to be my father, who is also a composer. And in terms of compositional role models, I've been drawn to so many different types of music. I definitely love Curigliano and Beezer's music. I love George Santakis' music. I've really loved, I've been in love with Henri Dutilleux. I've really been into listening to Oliver Knussen lately. Flourish with Fireworks, his 2 organa. I think he's a total craftsman. And I also love Thomas Newman. I wrote my dissertation on Thomas Newman. I think he's obviously a pivotal film composer and has certainly created his own unique language, and you will definitely hear influences of his sound in my own music. La Luna Azul is my most recent orchestral work, and certainly the work that I'm most proud of to date. I think compositionally, structurally, and orchestrationally, it is my most sound work. And it came about through a commission individually, well, directly from Robert Spano and the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, and Robert commissioned it himself. So that was a really great honor, because I have so much respect for him as an artist. And the piece is titled La Luna Azul, the Blue Moon, and it's really in honor of my wife, Janine. We met at the McDowell Colony in New Hampshire in September of 2010 and had a very fast romance. I proposed to her 4 months later, and in the past year, since everything has happened and we got married this past September, I think I've just been inspired by the love that we have, and I've been really writing happy music, I guess you can say. And I wrote a piano trio called Luna y Mar for the Blakemore Trio in Tennessee. And while I was writing the piece, it always felt very orchestral to me. And when you're writing for piano trio, you only have a certain number of hands and lines available. And I just always heard these new colors and added layers and counterpoint and just different orchestrations. And right when the piece was finished, I knew that this orchestral work for Atlanta needed to be based on the piano trio. So La Luna Azul is an expanded version of the trio, fully orchestrated and definitely its own piece and very different and something that I'm very proud of.